Great to have you in this edition of Art and Leisure. My name is Chioma Okpara. In case you're watching this for the first time, where have you been? Well, all we do here is celebrate us. Nigeria is a blessed nation. This is the only place we can call home. We celebrate creativity in the arts here. Stick around because Ranti Ihimoyan has been waiting in the wings to entertain us. Welcome back. Thank you, Ranti. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, there's another opportunity for you to enjoy much more in one location. For 16 days, Lagos will be agog with activities that will showcase the creativity of Nigerians, young and old. If you don't change the channel, you'll hear more. From 14th to 30th October, a festival will take place in Lagos. Its scope will include classical music, jazz, drama, poetry, visual arts exhibition, talent competition and concert, traditional music, dance, choral music, and opera. For 20 years, this festival has continued to meet the highest standard of artistic excellence.
Whilst the main focus of the society is on the promotion of the enjoyment and understanding of classical music, any activity which would tend to promote the society itself must be a necessary concomitant. That is the rationale for the inclusion within our program of a wide range of events from drama presentation and art exhibition to traditional music and dance. Even those who profess no particular affinity with classical music should feel at home and find something of interest in the festival.
Over the years, different measures have been employed in the continuous search for new ways of ensuring the survival and continued growth of the festival.
We have embarked on a policy of inviting outstanding Nigerian stakeholders in the visual and performing arts to collaborate as partners by contributing their events to the festival program. The objectives are to give deserving recognition to such stakeholders, broaden the festival appeal, and share the increasingly heavy burden of operating alone.
There will be a musical comedy on the life of Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti.
The contributions of an average African to the growth of the society is one that most often goes uncelebrated. Fela's contributions are numerous. He presented to us music as a tool of communication. He uses his music for awareness, opening people's minds to the ills being perpetrated in both the high and low places. He's also a professional musician. I'm very sure that so many of our young people do not know that Fela attended Trinity College of Music.
The Wives' Revolt by J.P. Clark will be acted on stage.
The Wives' Revolt, as is obvious, is about gender relations, but also it has to do with the Niger Delta issue. On the one hand, when it was written, it was futuristic, and now that MUSON has brought it out, it is contemporaneous.
An opera titled The Battered Bride will be directed by Sir Emeka Nwokedi.
It has to do with an arranged marriage for a bride to marry the son of a rich man, which she doesn't love. And she fell in love with the son of a peasant farmer and wanted to marry him. But the marriage broker in the village really played some game to make her marry the son of a rich man. There was a lot of interplays, but finally she married her heart's desire.
Young people will show off their dexterity on the dance floor.
We're talking about uniqueness, something different, and we're expressing these things through dance. You get, it's all about doing something extraordinary, something, I know they say there's nothing we've not seen before, or there's something new, but believe me, this is different. You get, also in the show, we're talking about what the country is going through, the whole 145, you know, the whole tomato and and everything, you know, but we're trying to express this feeling, you understand, through movements of the body.
Poets from Lagos, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Accra, Nairobi, Philadelphia, New York, and London will recite their original works.
The theme of this year's festival is Paging the Future, and the concept is called Paging the Future, the concept, which is basically to look at the role of the poets, to look at the role of the artist, not just in shaping or reflecting or interpreting, you know, what goes on in society, but also in shaping it.
4 distinguished guests will share their favorite music and memories behind their choices with a live audience in my kind of music program.
They submit their bio so we know roughly who they are, and then they submit a list of music that is there to them from the, you know, it's almost like psychology. From the music list they submit, you can begin to understand the kind of character each guest, you know, is going to be. Usually, because we've been having this program now for the past more or less 20 years or so, people are actually now coming to say, I want to be a guest. So, you know, you are free to do that.
Nigeria has a rich collection of great artists, singers, dancers, and other art enthusiasts. A festival of this nature gives them the opportunity to converge on one location. MUSON Festival 2016 will take place from 14th to 30th October. Good to have you back. I'm not a doctor, but I know that it is wrong for you to work your fingers to the bone all the time. Unwind from time to time. This festival gives you the opportunity to relax. It will last for 16 days, so plan to attend. All right, let's flip the page. What is traditional art? Does it have a place in today's world? A Kenyan scholar educates us.
Traditional art being the art that has been practiced for generations, from generation to generation, that hasn't changed much in many generations, is what we can say is traditional.
Lydia Gatundu Dalabo is a Kenyan. She's a PhD scholar. She's on a fellowship program with OYASAF. Her research topic is displaying traditional art in contemporary African time.
All African countries have traditional fairs, traditional festivals that where we practice or celebrate what our grandfathers and great-grandfathers were doing in song and dance, in a dramatic form, in our traditional handicrafts, in our type of worship. And when we look at it, we can go 100 years and beyond. There is no specific date that I can give you, but I would explain traditional as something that was done by our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers, and that has been carried forward. It may change slightly with the times, but it's being practiced. Within 100 years, it's repeatedly practiced. The times have moved. We are now in contemporary times, yet we would like to talk about our traditional art in a way that people will understand it the way it was used at the time, the environment that was there at the time. So the question is, what can we do to make this one possible? I'm also in the process of discussions on that one.
Lydia believes that traditional art has not been given its pride of place.
Working with curators and art historians, they tend to share the same feelings that I have, that our art is not properly represented in museums in the West, especially. And a lot of the early studies that were done by European ethnographers on Africa did not take into account the information. And so the artworks don't have the identity that represents the people where they are collected from. With my fellow Kenyans, we feel that it will continue even today in contemporary time. If people come, they are not able to understand our contemporary art if they don't have the correct information on our historical art. So it is important to be able to set up a reference point where visitors can come and learn about our history, even as they appreciate the contemporary.
Has she taken into consideration those who see traditional art as fetish?
It is about telling people what existed and what exists and how it relates to our being, because it is our history. Whether we are believing in it today or not, it is where we have come from. And for us to be able to move to the future and to do whatever it is that we need to do and to have an identity, then we need to keep learning, we need to keep passing down to the next generation what our past was about. So that is the intention of contextualizing. And then to answer your question on the art part, an art object could have been used in a shrine, but this art object, that is its function. But on it, there is art on it that was done by an artist, by somebody. So it is to be able to appreciate not just the object, but the beauty of the artwork that is on it, regardless that it was either used for a shrine or whether it was used for a purpose that people may not identify with today.
Her research is incomplete without a visit to Nigeria, she says.
Nigeria is at the forefront of arts, be it film, be it literature. In Kenya, one of our set books for schools is written by Chinua Achebe. So we know that Nigeria, we need to give it to Nigeria. You are ahead in the arts. So as I study traditional art, without coming to West Africa, to Nigeria specifically, to see the Benin artworks of the 14th century and others, then I will not feel that I have completed my studies without the proper reference, which is here.
She spent time discussing with like minds. At the end of her research, she put up a permanent exhibition.
First of all, I'll put out that information in the form of an exhibition that will be permanent inside a national museum. The information that will be in it is not new. It is information that has been discussed over and over, but is yet not been put inside a permanent space.
Engineer Yemisi Shilon, who has the largest private collection of artworks in Nigeria, speaks highly of Lydia.
She has visited about 15 Nigerian artists. She has visited the National Museum in Lagos, the Nikkei Art Gallery. She has visited 1 or 2 collectors, and she has made a lot of tours with me to Abeokuta to see more about the culture of my people in Abeokuta. And she's gone to our market. She's interacted with our market women and learned more about our culture, and she's carrying it to Kenya. That's the essence of Lydia's visit.
This is Lydia's first visit to Nigeria.
My impression is that I was just too impressed. The stories that go out about Africa are not always in the best light. And I would advise anybody who has had any story that is less than the best or the good to come and see for themselves. Nigeria is a wonderful place, and the people are extremely wonderful as well.
Abby found that report enlightening. Now let's visit a school where children from different parts of the country were made to speak one Nigerian language. Only Igbo was allowed. Why was it so? Let's find out. Children know when they're gaily dressed and they don't hesitate to show off. Today's event is not all about fashion parade. It is time to learn about the Igbos.
Aha onye na-achị Imo State bụ Owele Rochas Okorocha.
Uju si na anọchite anya ndị Ebonyi. Ka onye gọvanọ ndị Ebonyi State.
Gọvanọ bụ Gọvanọ Umaide.
Ka local government ole dị n'Ebonyi State?
Local government enwere na Ebonyi State bụ 13.
O kwesịrị ikwu ya nzuzo kwesịrị 13. 13. Ka ekwenu mmemme dị mara ndị Ebonyi State.
Anyị nwere iri ji, iri agụ, iri nkwọ.
Kọrọ na ya aka biko malika. Ka mfụ onye ọgaranya si from Enugu State. One no person.
Ji n'obodo.
Ọ sị na ọ ji nwa obodo. Now Stephanie have on there we biala. Ka aha gọvanọ Abia State.
Onye na-achị Abia State bụ Dr. Okeze Ikpeazụ.
Anakwụkwọ aka ebe a na-akụ n'aka o. Ka onye local government ole dị na Enugu Abia State.
E nwere ngalaba 17 n'ala Abia State.
Ka ekwe n'okwu onye ọgaranya amana si na Abia State.
Abia State nwere eji ụmụ dịka Michael Okpara, Agụnyi Rosi na Abalị. Ofe achara, ụkazi na mkpụrụ.
Ofu mmemme ama na Abia State.
Emume iri ji na ụgbọ Abia.
Onye gọvanọ ndị Anambra State.
Aha m bụ Willie Madu Abuchukwu Obianọ.
Ọsọ bụ Willie Ọgbalịrị. Ekwadi local government ole dị na Anambra State.
Awe iri Igbo ọfụ.
21. Ke local food eji mara ndị Anambra State.
A na-eri ofe bidasa.
There are 150 children in this school. They belong to different ethnic and religious groups. The Igbo culture is what everybody must identify with today. This is how the Igbos do their traditional marriage.
She's searching for a husband among the men, among the visitors. If the white becomes her husband.
We bless them.
Listening to a folk tale is common among the Igbos. How was it getting these young people to learn about the Igbo culture?
We started quite early and it helped us a lot, because at the end of the day, before the program, we were able to get them to understand some things about the Igbo culture that before now they did not know about.
Why single out a particular tribe and dwell on it?
To have an Igbo day or Yoruba day takes the whole day to develop the whole concept of what the Igbo culture stands for. So if you decide to do all cultures in one day, we'll probably be spending a whole day here.
This school has a creche, nursery and primary sections. In a country blessed with over 250 ethnic groups, how many will they learn before they leave for secondary school?
Well, it's obvious that we will not be able to cover all the tribes or ethnic groups. We're just going to concentrate on the major tribes.
Learning about Nigerian culture is not once a year affair. It is a weekly practice here.
On Fridays, we have cultural assembly. We take different tribes.
Let's learn a bit more about the Igbos.
We have some archaeological finds that have helped to shape the history of the Igbo land. And these are bronzes found in Mbuku. We have swords they found. We have copper vessels, ornaments, and terracotta. These are some of the archaeological findings that have helped them to trace the history of the movement.
Parents also participated. They are young today. What they are being taught now will be to the country's gain in few years to come.
We hope that with little things like this, the barrier of tribalism will be broken in their lives, and that they will see people as human beings, not first of all as belonging to a tribe or even the color of their skin.
This school is making great effort in passing down our cultural values. Parents are encouraged to also put their best foot forward.
We should try as much as possible to teach our children their our native language. You know, there's nobody that doesn't have one.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed watching those children. We served you a potpourri today. I hope it was value for your time. Thank you so much for making our time to watch Art and Leisure today. You can watch it online. Just go to www.chiomaokpara.com. My name is Chioma Okpara. God willing, in a week's time, we'll be back with something very interesting. Until then, love yourself, love Nigeria.